What's up, you keyboard warriors and couch potato critics? Zirk here. And today, we're ranking the top 5 most absolutely ridiculous, gut-distending, wife-frightening mass monster physiques that ever graced the bodybuilding stage. We're talking about men who looked at normal human proportions and decided to personally offend God by becoming walking meat cathedrals. These are the legends who didn't just lift weights. They basically committed acts of biological terrorism against their own bodies and somehow made it look good. So grab your insulin shots and buckle up, because we're about to dive into some serious pharmaceutical poetry in motion. Number 5, Jay Cutler, the walking refrigerator with feelings. Starting at number 5, we've got Jay Cutler, a man who single-handedly proved that you can look like a household appliance and still have a successful career. This man built his entire identity around having quads so massive they required their own congressional district. Cutler's legs were so disgustingly large that when he walked, seismologists thought there were minor earthquakes happening. The man's quads had more striations than a geological survey map, and somehow he managed to stuff all that beef into posing trunks without causing a public indecency incident. But here's what made Cutler special. He had the conditioning of a men's physique competitor trapped in the body of a small building. The man was basically what would happen if someone took a normal human and inflated them with a bicycle pump, except the pump was filled with pure pharmaceutical excellence. His chest was thick enough to use as a bulletproof vest, his back was wider than most people's driveways, and his arms looked like someone had stuffed watermelons under his skin. Number 4, Heath, the gift that nobody asked for. At number 4, Heath, the man who nicknamed himself the Gift, which is the kind of confidence that would make narcissists take notes. Heath had genetics so superior that other genetic freaks probably sent him hate mail on a regular basis. This man's muscle bellies were so full and round, they looked like someone had surgically implanted perfectly shaped balloons under his skin, then inflated them. His delts were so capped that they could have been used as architectural features, and his arms had peaks that were probably visible from space. Heath's physique was the result of what happens when God gets really drunk and decides to create the perfect bodybuilder as a joke, then sobers up and realizes he might have gone too far, but decides to see what happens anyway. 7 Mr. Olympia titles and a level of muscle maturity that made other competitors look like they were still in puberty. But what really set Heath apart was his ability to maintain ridiculous size while still having a waist that suggested he might actually have internal organs. Most mass monsters look like their midsections are being held together by sheer willpower and medical tape. But Heath somehow kept everything proportional enough that he didn't look like a complete biological anomaly. The man had that rare combination of freaky size and aesthetic flow. His skin was so thin, it looked like he'd been vacuum sealed, and somehow he managed to maintain this level of conditioning while carrying enough muscle mass to supply a small village with protein for a winter. Number 3, Markus Rühl, living proof that German over-engineering applies to human bodies as well as automobiles. This man looked like someone had taken a normal person and scaled them up using CAD software operated by engineers who'd had too much coffee and not enough oversight. Rühl's physique defied every known law of biology, physics, and common decency. The man was basically what would happen if you took a Panzer tank and taught it how to do bicep curls. His muscle mass was so dense, it probably affected local weather patterns, and his posing routine looked like a geological event in slow motion. What made Rühl truly special was his complete commitment to the concept of more is always better. While other bodybuilders worried about proportion and flow, Rühl decided that the only appropriate response to having big muscles was to get bigger muscles. His philosophy seemed to be, if it doesn't look like it might collapse under its own weight, you're not done yet. Rühl never won Mr. Olympia, but he won something more valuable, the title of most likely to be mistaken for a natural disaster. He was basically the bodybuilding equivalent of a horror movie. Fascinating to watch, but you definitely didn't want to get too close. Number 2, Dorian Yates, the British Nightmare. Coming in at number 2, Dorian Yates, the man who took the concept of high-intensity training and turned it into a form of self-administered torture. This British beast didn't just train, he conducted systematic warfare against his own muscle fibers. His back was so ridiculously developed, it looked like someone had strapped a refrigerator to his spine. His lat spread was so wide that he could have provided shade for small sporting events, and his thickness was so absurd that other bodybuilders probably needed antidepressants after standing next to him. His training philosophy was beautifully simple. If it doesn't make you question your will to live, you're not training hard enough. Yates would do one set and destroy muscle fibers so completely that they had no choice but to grow back bigger. 6 Mr. Olympia titles and a legacy of proving that you could look like a walking anatomy textbook while maintaining conditioning so sharp it could cut through steel. Yates was basically what would happen if British determination had a baby with pharmaceutical science and raised it on a diet of pure intensity and existential dread. And at the absolute pinnacle of human genetic experimentation, the 8-time Mr. Olympia, the man who made "Yeah, buddy" a war cry for meatheads everywhere, Ronnie Coleman. This Louisiana legend didn't just push the boundaries of what was humanly possible, he completely obliterated those boundaries, then squatted the pieces for reps while filming it for posterity. His genetics were so superior that other genetic freaks probably sent him hate mail on a regular basis. His training sessions were less workouts and more acts of violence against the concept of normal human limitations. Coleman would deadlift 800 pounds like it was a warm-up, then squat 800 pounds for multiple reps while making it look easier than most people make getting out of bed. His training videos are still used as evidence that humans could be pushed far beyond what should be physically possible if you have the right combination of genetics, chemicals, and complete disregard for your future mobility. 8 Mr. Olympia titles, countless records, and the undisputed title of freakiest human being that ever lived. Coleman's legacy isn't just about winning contests. It's about redefining what was possible when someone decided that normal human limitations were more like gentle suggestions. Coleman didn't just dominate bodybuilding. He basically broke it, then rebuilt it in his own image. Every mass monster who came after him was essentially trying to recreate what he'd already perfected, like tribute bands trying to cover a song that was already perfect. Each of these physiques represents decades of dedication to a lifestyle that most people wouldn't survive for 6 months. These men didn't just train hard, they lived hard, ate hard, and probably slept hard. Every aspect of their existence was optimized for one thing: becoming as massively muscular as humanly possible while somehow not looking like complete freaks of nature. So there you have it, the 5 most ridiculously impressive mass monster physiques that ever graced the bodybuilding stage. Each one a testament to what happens when someone decides that being normal is for other people. I'm Zirk, and if you enjoyed watching me rank genetic freaks, smash that like button and subscribe for more content that will make you question everything you thought you knew about human potential. Peace out, wannabe monsters.